Ladies and gentlemen, Season 12, Episode 3 of Curb Your Enthusiasm was pretty good, but not great. It was kind of all over the place, and I didn't really find it that funny except for a couple moments, but there was a couple elements that I really did like to this episode, so I wanted to talk about them briefly in it. I'm sticking through doing all the episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, even though I feel a little uninspired with this video to actually talk about it, because I just, in general, I didn't think there was much to cover here. The synopsis of this episode is, well, it's kind of all over the place, to be honest with you. There's a lot of moving parts at once. Larry comes home from Atlanta, and of course we get kind of a reunion with everyone outside of the people that were in Atlanta. We're seeing, all the main characters again. Cheryl, we see Ted Danson, Richard Lewis, all of those people. They're all back in the show, which is great. I love seeing everyone, but it's just... I don't know. I think one of the biggest takeaways of this episode was, even though I didn't find this to be a strong one, seeing all of this cast together still feels just as good as it did in the earlier seasons, whether you like it or not. I know a lot of people, I've been seeing comments on all of these videos of people saying that the cast is too old and blah, 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 but that's what makes them work. They've worked together for so long that they know how to hit each other just right, because again, this is an improv show. So it works really well, and I think it gets better with age like fine wine. I feel like that was probably the strongest point of this episode. Richard Lewis and Larry David in those scenes together really stood out. I think they were some of the highlights of the episode overall with the whole Will thing. But back to the synopsis. We see everyone come back finally when Larry comes back from Atlanta. And he plays Wordle. He plays Wordle. He hits a guy with a golf club or a golf ball on the golf course after having listened in on his golf lesson. And that's kind of it. Leon accidentally flashes his balls a couple times. I don't know. This episode was kind of all over the place, but it all intertwined the way that these past couple episodes of Curb are. And while I liked these past couple episodes, this one felt very formulaic, again, kind of like my criticisms of last episode, where it was a little like this was happening and this was happening and this was happening, and it felt more sitcom-y. This had the same sort of feeling, and I just don't really know how well it worked in Curb. A lot of the plot points and a lot of the ending, the conclusion of the story, came together in a way that most of the other episodes this season already have. And I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. But that being said, seeing everyone was great. It was really nice to see, especially Richard Lewis for me, and Funkhauser's brother, cousin, whoever he is, Vince Vaughn. Those two characters on screen, especially with Larry, they're so funny. So I'll take that any day. It doesn't matter. I'll take it any day, even if it's one of the worst episodes of Curb. But again, that's kind of the problem with this episode. There was... I don't know what it was. It was funny. There was a couple really standout moments, like when Larry hit the guy with the golf ball. That was funny. That was cool. Then there was a couple one-off lines, like Larry saying, "What do you got, 3 sperm?" to Richard Lewis. That was funny. But other than that, the only takeaways I have from this episode are more about the camaraderie of the cast, because even if this episode wasn't a strong point on paper, I didn't really like the way it was written, and again, this show doesn't have dialogue, so I just don't like the way the structure of this episode was written. But even with that being the case, I loved the camaraderie we got from everyone, especially Richard Lewis and Larry. Those are always the big takeaways from me, but there was just so much there on paper with them, with the whole will thing. In the episode, Richard Lewis says that he put Larry in the will, and it becomes a bit of a plot point later because Larry accuses Richard of only doing it so that he could get something from Larry in his will. I thought that was pretty funny, and just they work so great together, you can't tell they're acting, and they just really feed off of each other so well. Another example of that is Leon's actor. I think his name is JB Smooth? So, I don't know what is, something like that, something smooth, I don't know, but he is a masterful improv actor, masterful. He said something along the lines of, I actually had to write it down. He said, "My sperm is strong. My girlfriend is going to come out with a mustache and bad credit." How do you come up with that on the spot? That's where, again, even if this episode, in my opinion, wasn't anything special, you have moments like that that put you right back in the Curb world, and that's why I like it. And I don't understand the criticisms people have been giving, at least in my videos. I don't know if it's like a general consensus. I never thought it was, but in a lot of my videos I posted about the reviews, people are saying that like the cast is old and all of that stuff, but like that makes it better. Like, it's just funnier with age. It gets better with age. These actors are, I think, at their best in the show. Like, they are the funniest they've ever been. It's just the plots aren't that good. Like, I'm not sure where this season's going. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're going to try to do like a more formulaic, like actual ending to the show, or they're just kind of going to do these episodes and that'll be it. I have no idea. But that's it. Like, I don't really have too much else to say about it. It was funny, but it wasn't anything to write home about. I liked some of those moments. The whole Leon's balls thing where, like, he just would sprawl out and everyone would freak out over his balls. That was funny to me. Like, I genuinely did enjoy that. But other than that, it was great to see everyone. That's about it. I don't really have too much to say with this one. What did you think about episode 3 of season 12? Let me know down in the comments. With that out of the way, hopefully next episode's better. But until then, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.